Colorado. What it do, fam? Welcome back to Inside Colorado Basketball Show presented by Uprise Hoops. Kevin, we got a special today for our Denver, Colorado family, our official home away from home. We are going to recap one of the dopest events that we've had the pleasure of being on the sideline and media. That's right. This is the Colorado Live Scholastic Showcase recap show. Kevin, super dope. If this is your first time rocking with us, you know what, the Rocky Mountain, doing the Rocky Mountain Rock. I am your host, the mouth of the South, B. Jones, the OG all things Louisiana, Mr. Yeet in the building. I'm rocking alongside my brother from another mother, the spicy one, the quiet storm, the head coach, KT. Shh. Let's go, Kev. How you feeling today, man?
Hold on. Where did the spicy come from? They kind of threw me off, man. I'm doing great. I felt even better when we were in Colorado, B. Jones. So let's talk more about that. Let's go.
Let's kick it off. So today we're going to set the table. This is going to be a fun show. I think we got an hour special with you guys today. So hopefully y'all will be able to hang out with us. We're going to get the opportunity to meet the co-directors. That's right, the husband and wife tandem of the Burton family. We're going to have that presented to you today. But we also going to talk about some key matchups and our favorite part, some of the amazing players that were on the court this past weekend. But I got to kick it off, Kevin. We got on the road, and it was a long road trip. We love our road trips, man. But when we arrived in the city of Denver, Colorado, the air was cleaner. I think my allergies eased up on me for a minute, and the tapestry and the scenery was absolutely beautiful, man. How excited were you just to get to the city and to finally be a part of this Denver, Colorado scene, man, of the Colorado basketball scene?
I was very excited, B. Jones, but I didn't realize that it gets hot in Denver. I mean, it's not the kind of heat that we have in Texas. But your boy was sweating a little bit when we was out there doing our little intro video. But man, you said the scenery, it was amazing. We got to see mountains. We got to see prairie dogs. Shout out to our boy Taz.
Prairie dogs.
I don't know how he spotted them on the side of the road, or but man, it was just good to be in the building, man. To be in Colorado.
You walk through the gym, they greeted you with a smile, and immediately, as soon as you step foot in the gym, man, it's loud music playing, and you knew that we were going to be in for 3 days of something special. So we're going to talk about those 3 days, man. But let me ask you this question, KT. Okay. Was there any surprises? And I'll start off. I'll be the first one to confess. We are from Texas, y'all. This is our hometown. We call this the chosen city because women's or girls basketball comes through. We got all these WNBA, some of the best teams, high school teams in the country, prep schools. Play high school basketball out here in Dallas, Texas is incredible. Matter of fact, throughout the entire state of Texas, we get the opportunity to come be a part of witnessing what's up there in Colorado. I got to admit, I was impressed. What impressed you, KT?
Well, we know that basketball is basketball. You know what I'm saying? So going to Colorado and seeing these young ladies get down, because we compare everybody to Texas.
Everybody.
We know that Texas hooping is different. And while it is different, we did see some players there in Colorado that could definitely get buckets in Texas, B.
Yeah, I think it was the first day we looked at each other and said, "Oh, she can start on XYZ Texas team. She can hoop. She can come get it. She can play on any team she wants to in Texas." I think by day 2 we got used to it and realized it was just some dope 4-star, 5-star dogs all across this gym. And were there any surprises? Did anything kind of shock you that you wasn't expected to see?
Mackenzie Jones, I wasn't expecting her to be that tall. Because, when we just saw her, when we did the Monstars and you did her, I'm like, oh, she's about 5'6", maybe 5'7". No, she's a 6-foot monster. That's who she is.
You know what, Kevin? Mine is a little bit superficial. I don't know why I thought I was going up there to Colorado and then it was going to be just straight about basketball. I'm talking about James Naismith. Shorts was going to be right. Jerseys was going to like
fundamental basketball. Yeah.
It was going to be super fundamental, man. These girls had swag on, Kevin. We saw Kobe's. We saw Jordans being played in. We with headbands and tattoos and arm bracelets. These young ladies had some swag and confidence. and that was super impressive. And then of course, we listening to all the songs and all the music.
Yeah, the music set it apart though, B. Jones. It kind of created a vibe in the gym with all the music.
Man, so speaking of Colorado basketball, one of the first things I witnessed was that these girls played as a team. And we kind of knew that we're going to walk into a gym and there wasn't going to be many 6'2", 6'3" footers, right? We knew we were going to walk into a gym and there was going to be a lot of kids who I would consider normal basketball size, however y'all want to describe it. But I wasn't expected the team play from some of these teams, some of the sets, some of the offenses. And I piggyback all of that into my appreciation for coaching. We were told before we got there that the coaches in Colorado are not full-time coaches. Again, we want to make sure y'all understand the contrast. Here in Texas, you got to be a teacher or you got to work and be an employee at a school in order to be a coach. There, we were told that they were part-time coaches. So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, these going to be some decent coaches, but they're not going to have the same level. And I was totally wrong. These coaches were bought into the program and the systems and the schemes that these teams were running. I was like, oh, okay. So X's and O's was a major plus that definitely surprised me, man. What did you notice about the play style or even the level of competition in Colorado, man?
It seemed like the matchups were pretty even. So we got some good basketball. Of course, you're going to get some blowouts here and there, but for the most part, everything was pretty even keel. You can tell that third day, some teams started to lose their legs and the competition wasn't like it was, but all around B. Jones, this was an amazing event. The talent was there, and there was a bunch of college coaches that we knew that were in the building as well. So it was good to see them.
Man, I had to go to the DMV and apply for my dual state citizenship because the family, you guys embraced us, and this was just a dope affair, man. I felt like we were family walking into the gym. Well, Kevin, let's jump right into some of these players, man. We want to recognize a handful of players that we got the opportunity to see this weekend. Now, I will admit, they sent us the preview. They sent us a list of players, and they were like, hey, here's some of the players you need to check out that we're excited about being a part of this, because that's how you promote the event, right? You got to have some big names to bring these college coaches. But then they also, we saw the Chaska's top players of the state, and as we went through, we saw a lot of kids who were honorable mention or first team or second team all-staters that were going to be a part of this. So we already kind of knew some of these dogs that were going to be in the gym. But Kevin, let's break it down. This is the All-YEEET squad. Who are those 15 players or 16 players we want to show some love to? Kevin, I'll let you go first, man.
Oh, I already mentioned her name, Miss Mackenzie Jones.
Oh, that's a good one.
She was the MVP of Thursday, right? She was the MVP.
She was the Sports Life Talk Thursday tournament MVP.
Yeah, whatever. Scholastic. I think to say that out of all the young ladies that were playing that day, she was the best.
Well, I got to go with Air Academy's Kinsley Asp, man. That young lady was cashing checks and snapping necks, brother. I'm talking about. I consider her to have the chance to be one of the most prolific players in the state this season. She's definitely going to get y'all for 25 to 30. I wouldn't be surprised if this young lady leads the state in minutes as well as buckets. But more impressively, she just kind of had that dog mentality about it. It was even when she went through a 5-minute or 6-minute spell that the ball wasn't finding its way in the hole, she would still start taking that thing to the cup, and she found a way to win some games out there for a ball club. And it felt like they played in a lot of games too. Felt like we got a lot of opportunities to see Kinley play, man. Let's go. Who you got next?
Number 3, B. Jones. You said it yourself. She's the ward of the state, right? Tracy Ward. We got to show her some love because she did her thing out there in Colorado. It was a pleasure watching her play.
Point guard extraordinaire. I'm gonna keep this thing rolling. Me and you got the opportunity to see these young ladies in with the Colorado Hoopsters here in Mansfield. We knew that the Gilpatrick sisters was dope, but getting that opportunity to see Paige, the Loch Ness monster, do her thing by herself. She was out there super dope, super long, hitting threes too, stepping out. Love watching the Gilpatrick play, and I can't wait to see our sister play with the Will Broomfield next season.
And at number 5, we had the Spider Woman of the tournament, B. Jones, Chloe Parker. Did you like I did at Chloe Parker? You know, we had Peter Parker.
I got Peter Parker. Okay.
Yeah, so Chloe Parker did her thing, so I had to give her a nickname. She's our Spider Woman of SLT, of Uprise, excuse me.
And you know what's crazy about that? In BC, Brianna Crittenden got her 6'8" running mate. Super excited about that one. Kevin, I'm gonna go with one of the lesser names in this one, and I want to make sure we mention it early. I wasn't saving this to the end of the list, and that is Annika Van Dalen, AVD. Y'all go check out an interview. We did an interview with Annika. Pretty super dope player, under the radar. Y'all got to check her out. I think the school was Fort Collins Lampkins is who she played with.
Yeah, that was our Jedi, the Star Wars Jedi. Anakin.
That's right.
So, yeah.
That's right.
Hey, at number 7, we got Jordan Washington, another point guard that got busy on the floor, getting her teammates involved, and she scored when she needed to.
When they don't smile in pregame, you know they're about to be beasts. But I'm going to keep that thing rolling. We only got to see this young lady do her thing on one day, and that was Friday. But it was instantaneously. I fell in love with the game, and that's Ava Chang. I'm talking about so silky smooth. I'm gonna start calling her peanut butter because she is that smooth and that tough. Hey, she's super strong, big body guard. Love watching Ava play.
And speaking of big bodies, this young lady already has the body to play at the D1 level, and it's Kyla Hollier, one of my favorite players, not only in Colorado, just in the country. The young lady. Her and Mackenzie, they were checking each other, so that made that matchup even better. You got two dogs guarding each other, so shout out to Kyle.
I can make you holler. All right, here we go. I'm going to keep that thing rolling with the Meade Monsters. Listen, this burnt orange team remind me of University of Texas because they was out there running systems and schemes. Probably one of the most offensive-minded teams, and it was spearheaded by this guard, number 23. I love it when they wear those OG numbers, too. Yeah, 23, Maddie Clark was ice in her veins. Love watching her play.
On this one, I'm going to the great Bruno Mars, and we were talking to the moon. We got a chance to chat with Addison Moon. You talking about something that's smooth as peanut butter, B. Jones? I'm going to give her the nickname of Jiffy. That's how smooth she was. So shout out to Addie Moon.
And her twin sister, too. Her twin sister got in there. Yeah, 21 and 5. They was both going in there getting that thing rolling. Now, this one probably is one of those names we didn't have any clue that her name went on the pre-list. We didn't know anything about her, but Highlands Ranch got this young dog. I think she a 28 kid, KT, just coming off her freshman year of high school, and that is Jada Rogers. Welcome to Rogers neighborhood, because that young lady is going to be a stud in that state for many, many, many years.
And B. Jones, since the next ones are twins, I'm going to go ahead and speak for both of them. So we had the Terra twins out of Northfield, London and Paris Taylor. And if you haven't seen these young ladies play, you are missing out. They can get to the cup. They can score. They can defend. They can do anything you want on the court, and you will fall in love with their personalities.
All right, KT, and I'm going to go, you know what? Keeping up with the Joneses was a consistent theme out here in the state of Colorado. We had Joneses everywhere, but go PJ. She knows, she watching this right now. She know what I'm talking about. The dopes. I'm talking about Strike Force. She is a aerial assault when she is shooting that rock, and that is Peyton Jones, representing Valor Christian Academy. Dope coach at Valor too. Y'all got to check that whole program. I was super impressed with those young ladies.
And to close out the All-YEEET team, last but not least, we got Devin Davenport. Double D.
Diaper Daddy Devin.
Double, whatever you want to call her. She's a bucket.
Hey, a bucket. She had the hair different this weekend, so we knew she was going to be a monster on that basketball court. And that's another one of the young ladies we saw come here in Mansfield, so I was really excited to see, and she lived up to it. Rangeview gonna have they got to put some respect on Rangeview name. So to all of y'all young ladies, you are extraordinary. You are elite. You deserve a yeet. That's our first time doing all yeet squad, ain't that right, KT?
That is it. It's gonna be
all right. Well, y'all stick
around.
Y'all stick around because we got more names coming your way. We're gonna show some love to another deep pocket of squads. But before we get through with this, I do gotta pay the bills. Shout out to Uprise Hoops. They are the ones that brought us into the fold. All right, so Uprise Hoops, they have a mission to help players, teams, and individuals rise to the highest level. That's right, hashtag rise to the highest level through showcase events, as we experienced at Colorado Live, recruiting, representation, player development, and consulting services. Y'all make sure y'all hit up the team at Uprise, because Uprise specializes in helping you get to where you want to go and not where you are now. If you look at yourself and there's a little bit of a chasm, hit up Uprise, and they're going to help you to get to where you want to be. To learn more about Uprise, visit their website at uprisehoops.com today. And speaking of Uprise, this is where it gets a little, speaking of spicy, Kevin, it's going to get saucy right now because we got part one of the Burton family duo. That's right. We're going to bring in the operations manager, the logistics manager. She did it all on the weekend, and probably one of the smartest women in the Uprise family. Let me introduce y'all to part two of the dynamic duo known as the Burtons. Y'all make some noise for Natalie Burton. All right, y'all. As we promised you, we got a banging lineup, just like in Denver, Colorado this past weekend. It was a who's who affair. We got to close to shut the tournament down with one of the most impactful people to play a role in this extraordinary event this past weekend. Welcoming to the Inside Colorado Basketball Hoops family, Natalie Burton of Uprise Hoops. I'm assuming you got a kind of a little bit of a blend of Uprise and then, of course, the combination of Colorado Live. Welcome to the show, Natalie. Now, how you doing today?
Thank you. I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, Kevin, she looking at us like, why they act like they don't know me? Like we featured Natalie. We featured Natalie on our You Got Next platform.
True.
Y'all go check that out.
But it's different now because we featured her on the show, but then we finally met her in person. So
that's true.
Right.
That's
it's a different feel now.
That's
we like
true,
this
Kevin.
now.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you what, there's a couple of things in this world. You can't have Kool-Aid without ice. You can't have peas without carrots. Y'all know I'm going with this. And this is Brian Burton's right-hand partner. And she is one of the spokes on the wheel of this event, this tremendous event. Natalie, I got to start this thing off when the idea was posed to you, because I saw you work. I know the work that had to go into it. I got to ask you, what was the first thing that came to your mind when your husband said, hey, we're about to put on an event for the entire state of Colorado?
Yeah, I mean, initially, I'd never heard of what a Scholastic showcase was. So I come from the world background of volleyball. So when he said that, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, what is that? Like, I had no idea even what it was. So, he had to educate me a little bit and understanding. And so, I mean, I was just like, okay, cool. Like, just another tournament. Like, this is what we do. So let's do it. It'll be great. It'll be fun. And, not even just myself, but I think in this area and all of it, like, we're educating, like, he had to educate me, like, we're educating people on, like, what really this is. Like, it's not just another tournament. It's not a team camp. Like, this is a really unique opportunity and event. And so, yeah, once I think I started to understand it more, I just got really excited because I thought, like, what a cool thing to put on, to be able to be a part of, to create opportunity for these high school kids to get recruited, with their high school teams. And this is, every state gets to do one. And we've been selected to do that for the state of Colorado and to really help showcase these kids. What an honor. Like, so cool.
Well, you did it. You did it at a very high level. It was efficiently ran. Now, I'm on the media side, so I didn't get probably any intimate hiccups or bumps or bruises there, but it seemed like it was a well-oiled machine. Tell us a little bit about the planning process. How long did it take for you guys to put all of this stuff in place? And I want to go back to the monologue where me and Kevin opened this up. This event was just beautiful. We had graphics on the court, on the backboards. We had these massive size backdrops, which the kids just absolutely love. I mean, it was thought out through and through, even down to the graphics on the shorts that really set this thing apart. How much planning, how much time did you guys have to put into this event in order to pull it all off?
Yeah. It's wild. It's 2 weekends. The girls is one weekend, the boys is another weekend, but the planning starts the second last year's event ended. We were like, all right, what are we going to change? What are we going to upgrade? What are we going to do different? What do we want to keep the same? What adjustments do we want to make? And what can we add? So it really starts like the second the last event ends. We're prepping for the next year. Gym rentals have to be done a year in advance, if not more. We're trying to figure those out. The dates, all of that kind of part. I mean, it starts early and then it just grows momentum. And as you get 4 months out, it starts getting really crazy and then crazier up until, the event. So
Natalie, let me ask you this. What is your official role when it comes to everything with Colorado Live and Uprise?
Well, we're co-owners and we really, I think technically I'm CEO. So I really oversee. Well, technically I run this thing. No, I'm just playing.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we all know I'm the boss, but no, it's really kind of just seeing the outline. And, Brian is obviously, he's the face, he's the connector, he's the magic that makes it all come to life. I'm like the organizer and the operations and the logistics. And he is like just this magic dust that connects all the pieces. Because I mean, in reality, if you don't have the high school coaches to believe in the event, to buy in, and someone to reach out to connect, to explain, if you don't have somebody calling these college coaches to come, and explain to them the kind of talent that we have out here in Colorado, they're not coming. And, without those pieces, we don't have an event. So, I think we kind of pair perfectly for this. So.
What has been the initial feedback that you guys got? Don't take my feedback, because I was a kid in the candy store. Kevin and I are gym rats. We love being around the young ladies. We love watching the game. But what has been your feedback from the parents? The people who actually paid money to get in and being a part of the attendance. What was the vibe coming from those individuals? Yeah,
I mean, it was great. I think there's just nothing more rewarding than as people are leaving the facility on their last day, they're thanking us. Thank you guys so much for putting on this event, because they know that this is just a great opportunity for their kids. Not only is it an opportunity to get recruited to go play in college, but it's just a fun experience. The players are having a great time. And, as a parent, if your kid is having fun and you see that, you're just grateful. You're grateful that they get to have a great experience. And so, yeah, when people are leaving, they're thanking us for putting it on. They're thanking us for, what we're providing. They're thanking us for bringing this to the state of Colorado, that their kids can stay and they can play here and be seen and not have to go travel all the time to get exposure. And high school coaches, I think, are doing the same. They're just really grateful that we are doing what we're doing and bringing just noise and excitement to the state for their players to get exposure. So
now I got to ask, did any of the girls specifically, was there any story or any one young lady that you saw do their thing this weekend and you kind of felt like it mattered? I can tell you, it all hit home this is my why. And this is exactly the feel good moment you were searching for. Was it anything that stood out this weekend that gave you that woman fuzzies?
Yeah, I mean, in case you're a little confused on my role, I didn't spend very much time in the gym. Yeah. Somebody had to hold it down in the lobby. No, but I've heard stories and talked throughout the staff, and just hearing how kids who haven't had any offers, all of a sudden got 2 or 3 offers this weekend, or a school that we were trying to convince to come recruit at this event, ended up making a bunch of offers to the Colorado players. I think just, knowing, I hear Brian on the phone talking to players, talking to coaches, especially a lot of these out-of-state players who came and took a chance on traveling and spending the money to come be a part of the event. And then afterwards, hearing them say, thank you for making me come play in this event. You know,
whose idea was that, by the way? Whose idea was that, by the way? That was probably the most flyest thing we've ever saw. Like having the individual showcase, like my team can't make it, but I still get this opportunity. Go ahead and give who gets credit for that?
I mean, 100% Brian. I don't know where this came from. I don't know if he got from somewhere, but I mean, what an amazing thought that just because your team's not playing and you don't need an AAU team to do it, like just as a high school kid, you can still come and play and get the experience, get the exposure. Just what a great opportunity for those kids.
And that was really impressive because they're playing with players they haven't played with before.
Yeah, and those teams were good. They were really good. The coaches that coached them did a great job. I mean, I did get to watch one game, and that was actually the Showcase Championship game, and that was a fun one. So
yeah, it got a little physical too.
It did. Overtime.
Yeah. It was a great game. So where do you guys go from here? And I know we're gonna have Brian join us in a little while on the platform as well, and we'll kind of get some closing remarks from him. But in your opinion, now that we know that you're the architect, you're the orchestrator of this, where do you see this thing going? How do we get better in 2026? How do we get bigger and badder from here? Yeah,
I mean, on our side, we just keep creating a great experience. A place where people, coaches, players, college coaches want to be. And one of our staff, she actually said it best. She was like, it's like a big time event, but like a small time, like small feel of like, we're connected to the people coming. We're connected to the college coaches. We're providing things. We're listening, we're accommodating. Like we want to, make it a great experience for everybody. And I think a big thing that's going to help it continue to grow is for the best teams in the state to come and stay here and play and see the type of exposure they get here. And then I think continue to grow and bring these out-of-state teams. I mean, as a former coach myself and playing in the state, you play all the same teams all the time and you want to play somebody different. So I think just continuing to bring in more out-of-state teams, for the girls event, last year we didn't have any out-of-state teams, and this year we had a bunch and out-of-state players, and same with the boys. We've grown and we have even more this year. So I think continuing to keep the best teams here and bring in more great competition from out-of-state to give our state more teams to play.
It's a lot of kids that didn't participate in this, and as you mentioned, some schools chose to leave the state, unfortunately. What is your message to those kids, those parents? Start from the recruitment process. What is that recruitment message right now that they need to have their behinds in Denver, Colorado next March, or excuse me, next June?
Yeah, I mean, we have great talent here in Colorado. If we stay, people are going to come to us to play. People are going to come to us to recruit. So I think just banding together and knowing that we have strength in our talent and staying together to put on an even better event. So,
well, Natalie, you know what?
I do want to say this. Just imagine that all of this started with a can of Diet Coke. Just remember that.
They gotta go watch the episode for the OEKT. Yeah, they gotta go watch the episode for that one. But I'm gonna tell you how I know you the brains that run this operation, Natalie. You the ones that invited Sports Life Talk. You the ones that recruited us to be on this thing. And so we appreciate you so much. Thank you for stopping by the show, amazing. Natalie. Y'all are amazing. We loved every second of Colorado. It wouldn't be possible if you and Brian didn't take a chance on us and have some faith in us. So we appreciate you for coming by. We're gonna see you in a couple of weeks. We dropped the teaser. We're gonna talk about it a little bit with Brian, but we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Again, Natalie Burton with Uprise Hoops and the CEO of Uprise Hoops and orchestrator and organizer of the Colorado Live. Thanks, Natalie. Thank you for being a part of the program.
Thanks, guys. See you in a couple weeks.
All right.
Yo, Natalie is super dope. Thank you so much for having us first and foremost, and thank you for being a part of the show. I think that was, I wish we would have had probably another 10 minutes with her because she just, her story is phenomenal. And we got to bring her on the ICB. We got to bring her back to ICB. We can spend a little bit more time with her and not just talk about Colorado Live. But Kevin, you and I, we sat down, we came up with as we watch basketball all across the country, we realized that not every kid is going to be 6'1". Not every kid was going to be able to score 30 points in the game, but some of these kids played with heart and that they were really good ball players, could possibly make it to some D1, P4 or some Division II teams, but they definitely at the end of this thing needs to be recognized. And this is something we take all across the country. We call this the 4-H Club. And the recommendation or the ingredients to be a part of the 4-H Club is simple. You got to show humility. You got to show heart. You got to show hunger. And you got to show hustle. That is the 4 H's, the Sports Life Talk 4-H Club. And this is the first time, Kevin, we get to nominate and introduce and induct members into the 4-H Club. We saved it for Denver, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give it to them, KT. I'm going to start this thing off because I'm going back to Valor Academy. And that is one of them dope dogs who can shoot it. I can't wait to shoot against her and Peyton Jones in the shootout when I get to the Valor practice. But that is Cam Gunter. Super dope young lady. We got to show Cam some love. Kevin, who you got on the 4-H Club?
So, B. Jones, I'm going to do two. I'm going to cheat a little bit because I want to talk about the law firm of Martin and Miller. We had JoJo Martin and Chloe Miller. They came and rocked with us. We did like a 3-4 minute segment with them.
Spend a lot of time with them out.
So yeah, and B. Jones, didn't you like challenge her dad or her something like that? You said on the video. So go back and check that video out, Joe.
I don't quite remember that.
You were saying could she beat her dad? I'm being
okay. Because I don't want no part of Enoch, and I don't want no part of Chloe, and I don't want no part of the Martin sisters. Shout out to the older sister too. I think we got an interview with the older sister.
Yes, we did.
Sydney. Yes, y'all go check out her as well. Kevin, I'm gonna take you back to Highlands Ranch. Fell in love with this team. They ended up being a conference champion, or excuse me, a bracket champion, Highlands Ranch, and that is going to be Kimora Banks Thomas. I talked about the Joneses, but we had to get one of them Thomases in there, huh, KT?
You know, Thomas, man, we synonymous for hooping, man. So that Thomas and basketball goes together. At number 4, we had Sophia Carbajal B. Jones. That young lady played on the showcase team. Came out there, got busy. She did her thing. So shout out to Sophia.
Yeah, and I hate in the monologue we didn't talk about the showcase because that's probably one of those elements that took this thing from I want to say excellent to elite. It gave us a whole different dynamic of watching these young ladies play, not having a team. But you'll hear a lot more about the showcase teams as we talk to Natalie, and you'll also hear a little bit of that from Brian as well. But I'm gonna keep the showcase train rolling, Kevin, and I'm gonna go with Santana Sabis. Like Carlos Santana. Hey, she played the game like she was stroking her guitar because it was just smooth how she was getting around for a showcase team to pass the ball. She was kind of like the leader. And that was something that caught me too. And I know I'm going a little long on Santana, but check it out, man. When you play with a team, a group of young ladies that you're not used to playing with, for them to look up to you and you to be one of those leaders on the team, and then of course her team goes on to win the championship. So shout out to Santana.
I want to give a shout out to Madison Bethel. That's a name that you should be on the lookout for. She came out there, she did a thing, B. Jones. I'm looking forward to seeing brighter things and big things from her in the future.
All right, let's keep it rolling, man. Lily Anderson, we got the opportunity to meet Lily, talk a little bit with her on the microphone, and her confidence was kind of crazy, KT. I was a little afraid of Lily for a minute because I felt like she was going to get the hoop and cross me, get the ball and cross me over and take me to the hoop right then on the microphone, man.
And B. Jones, we got another double D. We got Miss Delaney Dennis the Menace out there just causing all kind of havoc on the court.
Well, you stole the show what you did, and I'm not gonna let you do just all the sisters, brother, because I see what you're doing. Now you trying to take 2 off the plate, and I'm gonna take 2 of them off the plate. That's right. That is going to be the Spellman sisters, Kiara and Kennedy Spellman. And from what I'm hearing, from through their success, there are some good things coming their way. It's not official as of recording this show. So hopefully when we talk to Brian, they'll be able to give us some more insight. But shout out to the Spellman sisters. They really established a brand and a name. And you know, and that story was special because the mom was coaching the team. Shout out to the Spellman sisters.
And we had Maya Abada. And if I mispronounce your last name, I apologize. But I got to put respect on your name and respect on your game. So Maya went out there. She did her thing. What you going to say, B?
I was going to say that young lady, another team that won a bracket, she did a move towards the end of a really tight game. She crossed them over, get a real smooth step back. And I'm talking about a swish. It was just all net. And she put the dagger in a championship game. So shout out to, I think it's a beta. Maya Beta, I'm not sure, but they really enjoyed watching her play. I'm gonna go with Allie Dreesen out of Pine Creek. This young lady was every bit of 6'1", 6'2", KT. You don't get to see a ton of 6'2", 6'3" players out there, and so when you see her height and you saw the way Pine Creek rolled with that ball and executed, it was one of those that immediately jumped off the page to you. So that young lady definitely is 4H.
And with her last name is like dressing, B. Jones. That's one of the favorite meals at Thanksgiving, right? So you know she can hoop. And B. Jones, this is one that I personally added to the list. Addison Greenlee. She played on the showcase team. She's 6'1". She did her thing, and I'm really looking forward to her. And I'm really going to follow your story, Addison. So make sure you follow me back. I think I followed you on Instagram. You better follow me back.
As we crown the champions, I think we had 5 different champions. One of those got the opportunity to do an interview. Again, a player we had no knowledge of a name. And whatever you want to say about size in the state, you can't judge the heart of some of these young kids. And that is the Horizon point guard and team captain, Bella Alvarado. And again, that's one of those. Y'all go check out our socials at Sports Life Talk. You actually get to hear from her live right there on the court after winning the championship at Colorado Live.
And B. Jones, I'm going to go last. And we know that a lot of Macy stores are shutting down. And Macy Ferguson is one of those players that shut it down too, B. Jones. So two-way player that did it all. So shout out to Macy.
And Arvada West was a big team. Holy Family. I wish I could just go through and list all the teams that played in this thing, because not being from there, seeing all of these teams, seeing all these basketballs. I know we probably missed some young ladies that deserve to be on this 4H list, but I want to send a super shout out to the first ever official 4H club members. We got to send them some t-shirts or something. We're gonna do something special for you 4H club members. We're gonna send y'all some Sports Life Talk swag. We're gonna create a logo and everything. We're gonna do that thing super official because we want to keep that rolling. So congratulations. Hey, give yourself a high five, pat yourself on the back, or go hug your mama and them or somebody and let them know that you are a part of 4H. Hustle, hunger, humility, and heart. All right, y'all. As this show winds down, we got a nice interview in store for you. And this is the man. He put all of this together with his team, of course, and he'll make sure he tells you first and foremost that he is nothing but as part of a part of the machine, a cog in the wheel. But this man is so influential. He's part of the reasons why we are part of Colorado Live, why we are part of Uprise Hoops, and why we are firmly believers in the state. And Denver has become our home away from home. That is the director of Colorado Live and the director and CEO at Uprise Hoops, Brian Burton. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all see him, the man, the guy that put all of this together, our boss, the guy who brought Sports Life Talk into the fold. It gave us this amazing platform. You're watching the Colorado Live post showcase special, and I'm super excited to present to you the man behind the curtain. And in this case, I don't even know if it's a curtain anymore, because you are out front. You're singing the praises of this tournament loud and proud. Y'all see him, Brian Burton, in the building. Welcome to the show, Brian. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm recharging between one amazing event that kind of blew all of our minds, and hopefully sounds like many others, and then now we're getting ready to see if we can repeat it somehow in about a week and a half with the boys event upcoming.
Kevin, he's smiling too hard. He's smiling too hard. His skin got all the right colors. He ain't got no dark rings. Right? He ain't worked hard enough. He ain't tired. He got on all these vibrant colors. He got the first.
Can't be tired.
God, that man ain't tired. He probably ain't slept a wink, and he still look like he ready to go and run this tournament for another week. Brian, I want to tell you, man, that this thing was put together so nicely. Y'all go check out. I know we did a little bit of a post-tournament interview with you, actually live on the courts. Y'all go check that out on the social media channel. A lot of information, just in case you don't get everything here. We do have some.
I don't mean to cut you off. Go check out all of the interviews that we did. There
we go. There we go.
You can tell Kevin is the company guy. But this event was large. Y'all gotta understand. Me and Kevin, we packed up a truck. We drive up there. We don't know what we're walking into, and everything in our mind was comparison to Texas, which was it was really unfair to the Colorado family. Yeah. But that's our mindset. We've only seen this done in Texas. We get there to this gym, and I'll tell you right off the rip, they hand us these immaculate media cards. It set the tone. Everything felt like we were in basketball world. It felt so amazing. It felt so authentic. It felt so true to the Colorado brand. It matched the scenery, right? When you think Colorado, you think this beautiful canvas, this beautiful tapestry, and you guys created that same environment inside the gym. Now, I don't want to start any family infighting here, but your wife said she's the queen bee. She was Khaleesi, and she ran the show, Brian. Tell us, man, how hard was it for you guys to put this together, and walk us through some of those thoughts and those visions you guys had for the event, and how close did you guys come to pulling off what you originally put on paper?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, thanks for having us on. To be able to chop it up about it. Thanks for you guys to believing in us enough to come out. You didn't have to do that, and it meant a lot to us to go back to my college basketball days, to bring back some guys that I believed in then when I just got out of coaching, and you guys have interviewed all of us, my brother included, my sister, my wife, myself. So it meant a lot. You guys are running our Inside Colorado basketball show, which we absolutely love, and we just got started this year with Uprise Hoops, a different company than Colorado Live. But yeah, it was a lot. And she is the queen bee, so whatever she says is correct. So I'm not even going to fight that. I know where I want to sleep tonight. I don't want to be on the couch.
Exactly.
But no, she's I think it goes without saying her track record, right? She's a Hall of Fame athlete. She's now in the real estate world, just getting started there. But, as a coach, what she's done, she's been a Division II head coach at 2 different institutions. She's been an interim Division I head coach. What she did at Colorado at Fossil Ridge, 4 championships just in regular season the year she was there, and not to mention a regional championship, 2 Final Fours, 1 state championship runner-up, beat Valor. It hadn't been beat in like 75 or 80 games at their place. Went undefeated in the state of Colorado her last year coaching. So creating culture and winning is what she does, at the highest level. So, whatever she touches kind of turns to gold. That's kind of how I knew she was the right person for me to marry. And we have 3 beautiful daughters now, and those young ladies have the best example to follow. So yeah, doing it with my wife has kind of been a dream. We met each other in college athletics. I was a college basketball coach. She was a college volleyball coach. And in an ideal world, we could coach at the same place one day. And instead of it being an institution, now it ends up being in this basketball space with Colorado Hoops and with Uprise Hoops. So, Colorado Live and Uprise Hoops. So, yeah, going back to what you said about original putting it on the paper, I don't think we could ever imagine what we just experienced. For us to be able to, in year 3, get compliments like a Big 12 coach telling us it's the most well-ran event in the country in June. I don't think you could ask for a bigger compliment than that. Now, he didn't say the most talent, which we have a lot of talent. That's why we had, almost 70 college coaches in the building this weekend. But for him to say that meant a lot about what goes into it, along with the talent. So the talent is what brought him there. We know that. And Colorado has that. So we're really fortunate. We never would have thought it. We didn't think we'd be doing this in life at all. God, sometimes he makes a call and you pick up and you say, God, are you sure? And next thing you know, but I remember the first year we put out videos to educate what this was. And we were almost, I don't want to say begging, but we were really working to recruit and tell people like what this is. And we couldn't touch everybody. So we just put more stuff on social media and try to, just get the word out of what it was. And I think we started with 40 girls teams. This year we were almost at 80. And then with the boys teams, we started with right around 70, and then now we're at almost 140. So we've doubled the original numbers from year one now that we're in year 3. So glory to God, we have an amazing staff, not just my wife, but we have community members of ours from our church, from our life group, from our basketball circle, and it's kind of all come together. And the cool part about it, you mentioned kind of working with family, but all of our families, you know, we have multiple generations of kids of the adults that are in this with us. So, you know, and you guys know it. I mean, we helped you guys be a part of this experience too, but we want that role vibe of like, we all stayed this time, 21 people in an Airbnb to be able to pull this off, to be in the trenches, to set up. It was a day before set up, to be able to have everybody have their different roles. This isn't just like this is a traveling band. This isn't just like a show up and hope for the best kind of thing. We put a lot of time, energy, and effort. And, you know, I salute the staff because everyone stars in their role on the staff so that everyone can really flourish. And I think the biggest thing people take away, a couple of things I'll say. One, I think the energy. You hear people always say, man, you guys are everybody was so kind to us. Everybody was so nice to us. And I think we all come with a servant's heart to really want to make it about the athletes and the teams. And it's not about us. It's about the state. It's about Shasta. It's about, the state of Colorado and athletics. And then lastly, I think there's a vibe that becomes created with all the energy from the staff of just really wanting to make it about the kids. And that's why we want to bring you guys in, because you guys do such a great job on that as well. So I think when you walk into it, you're kind of thinking around like, man, I don't know how this is going to go. Even though you start looking around, you're like, okay, wow, I wasn't expecting this, and I wasn't expecting this. And the longer you're there, it just creates this energy in the building that even college coaches literally have texted and called and been so kind about, hey, we went to other events after yours. Nothing against those. We like those, but there's nothing like the feeling that we had when we were there with you guys, and not just from the players and the talent that you're showcasing, but also the way we felt. So that's what we're looking for. I think we've exceeded expectations, and we're humble about it. We just want to keep building and keep serving this state and putting it on the map. The big goal is getting more teams out of state to come to this state.
You know what? I want to give y'all some flowers here because people that's watching this, these interviews are happening concurrently, right? They back to back. But I want to let y'all know these are 2 separate interviews recorded at 2 separate times because she came on here and gave you all the credit, and you came on here and gave her all the credit. So that's absolutely crazy. Now let's get on the hardwood though, Brian. Let's take the to the hardwood. So you did an amazing job of recruiting talent from all over state. You was able to keep some of the biggest players and some of the biggest names. And when you see these 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, or whoever, these kids who are literally, is it Chaska? Am I saying that correct? The Chaska the all-state team for the state of Colorado. Yeah. All of these kids are in this tournament. All of these kids are participating in this showcase. But now you got to put it all and make it entertaining, because we don't want to see good teams just beat up on bad teams, et cetera, et cetera. You guys had to make these tournaments or these brackets appealing. You had to make them super competitive. And that was the part that really stole the show for me. And one of my takeaways that I mentioned earlier in the program was that some of these matchups, I was putting asterisks. I was putting stars. Like, I don't know what I'm doing at 3:00, but I know I got to get to court 1. Because it's going to be a block burner matchup between XYZ and XYZ. So who kind of created these schedules, and how did you guys hit a home run with that and make sure we had marquee matchups and pretty much going every hour on the hour?
Yeah, so I think there's a few parts. One, thank you. Again, it goes a team that goes into this, definitely more than just me. But I think my time in college basketball, when I went to an event, I think that's one of the most frustrating things is when you're at an event and there's 2-hour gap between something that you want to see. You want to stay in your seat and be entertained as much as you can on the hour. And I say entertained, you want there to be a matchup or a player or something that's happening every hour, so you feel like you're maximizing your time. And next thing you know, you look up and you don't even realize what time it is. That's the goal. And so in order to not have the same people, 2 big matchups at the same time on 2 different courts that are next to each other, you try to set it up to where twofold. Maybe there's an underrated matchup over here, but because somebody split court and they can see both, their eye catches and now they go over there. But they're, I think so that's part one. I think the other part, you just do this enough, you start learning what you want to add. And I felt like last year for me, the showcase 3-game guarantee wasn't enough. Like I wanted to look forward to the last day because, and last year what happened with the boys event, I actually did reschedule one particular matchup, and another one had to drop out because something had happened. So I ended up doing a couple matchups on the Sunday, and I was like, man, I think we got to figure out to make it more compelling. How do they play for something? That's when you're going to see the best out of athletes, when they're playing for something. They're competing for more than just the scoreboard. They're competing to win an ultimate, bragging rights, if you will. That's going to speak to any competitor. So I think the combination of the two, and then wanting that last day there to be a build-up, and to feel like, okay, we're not just coming here just to play 3 games and leave. There's nothing wrong with that, and that is an option in this event because sometimes you may not want to play in the championship type style, or maybe your schedule, your roster doesn't permit that because of other obligations or whatever. But I thought that part was the funnest part for us this year. Of all of it is like we're seeing, okay, this team is 2-0, this team is 2-0. Ooh, we can't wait to see those two go toe to toe because. The last thing you want is the last day, this team's 2-0, and you had a preset matchup. You thought this team was going to be good. You thought that matchup was going to be good. But for whatever reason, maybe that team maybe somebody was gone. Maybe somebody got injured. So I think that's the part. You want it to feel like the last day. You're playing for something. It means something, and everybody's locked in for that. And then the schedule throughout that, I think the best way to showcase the athletes is to try to find a way for the college coaches as they're sitting there watching and they've put their money in and flown out here, is how can we keep their attention at all times? And then how can we put, like the showcase teams, how can those 4 teams play each other in an hour where you don't have no choice but to watch these girls? You have no choice but to tune in to what they may have to bring because you didn't come here thinking about them, but we hoping you can leave with a couple of names in that and then go back to that high school. And then even on the day one in the girls matchup, we had those showcase teams match up against some of the top girls teams just so the girls teams could have a different taste. Hey, we play that team often. Let's play somebody different. Let's play a different style. So we wanted to do a combination of all those things to really bring the stars out and let the star power shine.
Now, one word that you've been saying is showcase. And I know a lot of people are like, what is he talking about? So your wife told us that you came up with that idea. So will you tell us where that idea came from and how are you able to pitch that to players and their parents? Yeah,
so I think really, she's nice to say I came up with it. She's not necessarily in the basketball world to know that I really just stole it from somewhere else. But my very first time kind of being aware of the Scholastic event, I'm from Texas, just like you guys. And in Texas, that first year, people didn't know about the TAB showcase yet. They didn't know what it was. But there was a lot of players that wanted to still play in front of college coaches. So they had created a division where kids could sign up and play against other teams. Now, we have other events where we have those showcase teams to play. And in this event, typically we've had one of those teams. One team for the boys, one team for the girls. You just mix them in. You just kind of let people sign up as they find out. This year, after last year, that was one of the takeaways. We really wanted to increase and take the next step. And as we call it, level up around here. We wanted to level up in that department because there's so many kids afterwards. It's like, man, if I would have known. So we wanted to put the word out more to high school coaches on social media, pick up the phone and call some kids that we knew were some of the higher rated kids that weren't playing and figure out like, how can we get you on the big stage so you can have a chance? And then we wanted to add more to it too. We wanted to invest in the jersey. So it felt like an experience, not just like, hey, I got a reversible jersey or a t-shirt. Last year we had t-shirts. It went great. But this year we wanted to take the next step on that too. So it really felt like it was something important. And then we wanted them to play for something. So the first day they got to play high school teams, but they got an additional 4th game because they're trying to play in front of college coaches while they've never played with some of these girls they're playing with. So we wanted to give them an extra opportunity to play one more game so that they had a more of a fair chance to show well in front of college coaches. So, yeah, I think that part really came together well. And the coaches that we had to volunteer, we had 3 different high school coaches volunteer their time to want to give back. One of them was a club coach that had some girls that he had wanted from their organization to play, and he wanted them to feel comfortable. And another one was our staff member, and Jordan Michelson, who I actually ironically recruited out of high school back in the day. He went to Bel Air High School, was a good high school player, and I ran into him my first year out here in the car looking over, and he rolls the window down and he says, Coach B. And then ever since then, we've been pretty much locked in again. So he's high level. So it was a great experience. We had a great championship. It went to overtime, came down to it, and we changed that up too. We wanted that feel of like, okay, if we're in overtime, we want everybody locked in over here. So we clear the score, and it's 1st to 5. It's like open gym, check ball, let's go. And you're going to have a game winner, and no matter what, we're not going to double overtime. We're not going to be here all day. So it kind of gets everybody on the edge of their seat, and that game was as good as any all weekend.
So you talked about the showcase teams. One of the things that highlighted, or what was a big highlight to me, was how well you guys paired some of the college coaches. So I'm not talking about just the matchups on the court. I'm talking about, we had Denver, we had Colorado, we had UNC, we had the big box. Don't get me, Colorado State, all of the big brand colleges were there. Yeah. But you did a great job, because we're talking about showcase kids, right? And a lot of these kids are being under-recruited, or they are just naturally going to be Division II, mid-major, NAI, and so many opportunities for them to continue their career. You guys brought all of those coaches in as well. So no matter what level you were, you found value. You got that opportunity for somebody to see you that could use you tomorrow. They could bring you into their program and could find value. That was, to me, chef's kiss. Shout out. Whoever, I know that was probably a lot of your recruiting, but was there a specific storyline or a specific kid that was able to go out there? They signed up, they bet on themselves, they participated in this event, and then you got a call on Monday and they say, hey, we're offering this kid. Or you just saw this kid rise to the occasion and do their thing out there. Were there any specific storylines that happened at this event that made you almost want to cry and bring a tear to your eyes, man? Yeah,
I can think of a bunch. Something just showcase or the whole event.
Well, I'll let you leave it. I'll let you have that one. Whatever one you want to tell us.
I would say both. So, like with the showcase teams, it was unique because, it does feel scary if you're a young lady to sign up and play with players you don't know. So, in some ways, just being able to really connect to those athletes more and their parents and their AAU coaches to be able to say, hey, this is the plan, this is the vision. I felt like I was back in college coaching for a little bit, getting on the phone and like actually recruiting people because the whole reason why we're doing this, my wife and I both coached our careers. Our staff, if they played their careers, and those that aren't, they just want to serve. So it's not about us anymore. We want to help this state to grow, and we didn't expect moving to Colorado that it would have this many hoopers. Especially on the girls' side. And you think about the Brianna Crittentons, Sienna Betts, Lauren Betts. You can go down the line, Eschmeyer. You have Gilpatrick, who's now on the USA team now. You have so many high-level players in this state, and there's a long history of them. I mean, the University of Nebraska Omaha, Jamie Carey, the coach, she was an All-American. She was Mrs. Basketball. She played in the WNBA. So there's so many coaches, from the Cal coach to this coach over here that played in this state that are now coaching at a high level. So I think there's a long history of Colorado basketball being really good. We're just happen to be the right place, right time, and there hasn't been a live period event that we know of that coaches have come to the state to recruit. Normally, players in Colorado have to leave the state in order to get recruited. So
exactly.
I think the beauty, to go to your question, is all of these girls that have an opportunity to get seen, and all these coaches that are coming from East Coast, West Coast, and everything in between. And as you said, junior college, mid-major, high major, low major, D2, NAI, we had all levels represented. And so everyone had a chance to get recruited. I think there's some cool stories. I mean, I think Kennedy Spellman is the one that comes to mind. She got her first offer from Colby College from playing in this event on the showcase team. So that's exciting. She's a leading scorer in the state. She's put up a lot of numbers, has been put a lot of work in, and just wanted that opportunity to just say, somebody loved me, and somebody did. And so I think that was a cool one. I think the Northfield girls, they have some more offers coming, as I got a call tonight. that there's going to be some offers coming, but I know Coach Tommy Johnson offered the Twins their first offer. You think about the young lady Jada from Highlands Ranch of 2028. She's the number one in the class. She got her first offer from Air Force. And there's so many others. I think Gracie Ward and the Annika Van Dalens of the world are going to get more offers if they haven't already. So I think there's a lot of those. But I think the showcase teams, it was really cool. A couple of them afterwards, they said, hey, thanks for making me play in this. And I didn't make them do anything, but it's that energy of like, I really wasn't letting up on the gas for the excuses as to why you couldn't play, because I just felt like if you come play, you'll see, and the word will spread. We had two young ladies from Iowa come play on that team. We had one from South Dakota, several from Wyoming. So there's out-of-state players coming to play in this live period showcase. I think the young lady from San Diego, Kate, got an offer from Doane College, an NAI, right after the event. So, that's what this whole thing is about, is creating these opportunities. And, I had a high school coach ask the question before the event, and this is part of the process, is educating. He's like, I've never coached AAU. You got to explain to me, what is this event and why would these things be justified to be happening? And I said, well, Coach, and he finally kind of left the conversation. He's like, well, I get it now. This is more like an AAU event than it is a team camp. Well, I said, a team camp, Coach, there's going to be one college there probably. There's going to be multiple. There's going to be more colleges here than there is teams. You know what I mean? Programs represented. We have more teams because we do have some sub-varsity teams that play, but there's more programs in college that we're watching than there were programs playing. So that says a lot about Colorado basketball and the respect for this event. And then lastly, what I was going to say about the same idea when working with the coaches is that, he asked the question of, well, my girl is already going to get recruited. There's already coaches that have told me that they're going to come see her. So how do you guarantee that other girls are going to get opportunities? And I said, well, Coach, just like they're going to come see your young lady, they're not going to only watch that game and leave. They're going to watch more girls, So you look at like a Mackenzie Jones. She had a monster weekend. She might have been as good as anybody in the gym the entire weekend. And going into it, I knew that. I know she's bona fide at this level. But the University of Colorado, they had their whole staff there over the course of time, and I wouldn't be surprised if she now becomes a target. A Brooklyn Stewart. Brooklyn Stewart played last year. She didn't blow up 2 years ago. She didn't blow up because of this, but she got a CU offer probably about a week or two after this live period event because of the buzz that was happening of how she played in the event. And then, so anyway, it's just a cool thing how that kind of creates a life of its own, because not only is the college coaches out, but the media is out, and the media is tracking, and they're filming, and they're writing about it. And all of a sudden you get a stage where these kids get to perform against other stars. You get to play against a Kinley Asp, who's a high level player, and you have a good game. And now it's like, well, wait a minute, who is this girl? You get to play against a Gilpatrick or a Kyla Hollier who's already established. And it's like, well, who is this young lady? So a lot of stars in the state, and again, we talk about it, future stars, where they make their name. A lot of young ladies were able to make a name for themselves.
Now, you mentioned the media, Coach, and, we're part of the media. We love what we do. But what can we as a media do to, show more support for for this event?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think, the starters just pulling up, you guys did that. And being outsiders to the state was a big deal for these young ladies and for these families and for these coaches, because, sometimes when you're in this state, you don't get the same reach because it's the same people. And I think our state is growing in that. And I think hopefully stages like this give them an opportunity to feel like their presence can be felt. We had the most media. We had over 30 media members apply for media credentials. So that's way more than we've ever had. We've been probably 5 or 10 or less, so between the two events. So there's a demand there to be a part of the event, and we had more. We've done more collaborating in social media because we want those members to grow as well, and their following, and people to be aware of what they're doing. And we want to be at a power in numbers. I think that's really what it's all about. Let's join forces. Let's do this together. Let's promote these young ladies and young men, and keep helping celebrate the great things that they're doing.
Well, I'm glad we're going to talk a little bit about the boys event here in just 1 second, but I'm glad you mentioned that you teased up kind of crossing state lines in order to come witness it, be a part of this. And that was the I guess you could say kind of the exotic nature or the special nature of this for KT and I, because it was such an eye opener. But I'm curious. We got shocked. We got put on our pockets in 5 minutes. We were sitting down trying to catch our breath because it was so exciting. But what about for you? When you came to Colorado, like when you decided to put this event on, you was like, okay, I'm supremely confident that I'm about to put the world on some game here. Because these girls up here in Colorado hooping, these boys up here hooping, and the world needed to know. And that's why you were so adamant or so inspired and so invigorated to get something like this going. Did you kind of know that this state was doing it like this?
I didn't. I had no idea, to be honest. It kind of goes back to that early conversation. Sometimes God makes the call and you just looking at the phone like, God, are you sure? I don't know if this is really for me. And I don't know what we can do that hasn't already been done. But I think, what I've come to learn, sometimes when you're in an environment for so long, you just settle into what it is. And there's an energy that we come from in college basketball and college volleyball, coming from Texas, coming from being at, the highest levels of college athletics, and you get to see a lot. And you're looking at this state and you're like, there's so much here. In the first year, I never forget it, when Brianna Crittenton, I learned she was top 10 in the country. It's like, well, wait a minute. You got a 5-star player here and there's no event to bring people here? Something's not adding up. You got the number 2 player in the country in Sienna Betts, and her sister was number 1 just a few years before. And so I started learning the stories and started learning the history and started learning more of what was going on here. And I think, really had no idea what I was doing. If I knew what I was doing, I wouldn't have even been able to draw it up this well. That's how you can tell, just being obedient in our faith walk really has had the most to do with it. Obviously, I talked about my team. I've talked about my wife. Those people understand winning at an even higher level than myself. But I think for me, I did have a vision that we can raise a standard and we can change and impact the culture. And it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of thinking outside the box. I don't think people thought other media members from other states are going to come. Or I'll never forget it. This weekend is another cool story. One of our media members that we had never worked with before, and we hired for the event, with Chassa, and got it approved for the marketing and everything, and just said, hey, we want you to be able to capture some of what's happening this weekend. And he's from here, played at CU, went to school up here, and he said, Coach, I've never seen nothing like this in our state. I've never seen nothing like this. It gives me chills what you guys are doing for the community, what's happening for these young athletes. I can't wait to see the boys event. And, I don't know enough. So sometimes that naive can make you just know what you know and say, well, I think we can do that here. And I would just say, for me, shout out to Texas and where I grew up. Shout out to Jim Hicks in Houston. Shout out to the whole Texas Hoops crew, Blues Urtici, Mike Kunstad, Sam Lowe. Those guys, I grew up, going to those events as a kid. And I grew up just like these kids are growing up. And I looked up to those people because they had a platform. And same thing when I became a college coach. Then I started going to these events. You start talking about, again, so many event operators. I don't want to leave anybody out, but, there's so many people in Texas that are doing this. It's just such a regular thing, but there's so many players and it's part of the culture. And here it just wasn't even a part of the culture. So I think to establish the culture, kind of go against the grain, kind of be the guy that's like, what is this doing? We don't do that here. We just do this. We do. And it's like, yeah, but I think we can do it like this. So now that same conversation 3 years later, it's now changed. It's like, okay, we have done what we set out to do. We have done more than we set out to do. Now the plea is to no disrespect to anybody on this, but I'm going to call out. This is for you, Regis. This is for you, Windsor. This is for you, Cherokee Trail, Monarch, Loveland, the people that went to Section 7. We got 5 or 6 teams. If we get everybody to stay here, when we get everybody to stay here and bring those out-of-state teams here, now we got a whole different show. And I think that's the part where what I love about Texas is TABC is no other states. It's just Texas. Like, we don't need nobody else. We got enough here, and we're not that state, but we can say, hey, come to us. Come to us. We'll put on a good show. We got a beautiful state that we want to celebrate, and why not?
Well, we said we was going to talk about the boys event. But I guess could be a no less or more appropriate time to say we're back. Yeah, that's right. Sports Life Talk will be back in the building for the boys event. It is official. We're gonna run this thing back, and I'm super excited about it. You talked about doubling up on the teams. Now I gotta challenge these boys because I think the girls set the ball pretty. I think we did in excess of maybe 35 interviews, KT. Would you say it was 35 or 40 interviews we were able to get accomplished? Yeah. I know we got some boy hoopers. I know we got some guys in this gym, some high flyers, some dope hoopers that want to get on the mic with Sports Life Talk. So I'm calling y'all out right now. I want to meet as many of you guys as I possibly can. Coaches too. We got to get you guys on the mic. But Brian, set the stage, man. Set the table. What's going down? Tell us about this boys event.
Well, I got to ask KT first. KT. What are you thinking? What are you feeling about this boys event? Do you think it could have a chance to compete with the girls event? What do you think?
Well, I'm a little biased because we
extraordinarily biased.
We support the girls a little harder than the boys, but I think the boys, they should be able to do it. I'm not going to hold any expectations, but we'll see what they can do.
Yeah. So, we're excited about the boys event. It's a unique. I think they're probably one step as far as 1 year ahead of getting the out-of-state teams. Last year we got 5 different states. This year we got 6 different states for the girls. So we're about 1 year behind. The boys are 1 year ahead, and now we have 16 different out-of-state teams. I think we're definitely over 10 different states represented in the both. I think we're close to 13 or 14 according to our team. We got Alaska. I can't tell you when the registration came in for Alaska, I was like, what is happening? Alaska, we got an individual player from Alaska, and we have a team from Alaska, Oregon, Missouri. Who else am I missing? North Dakota, Nebraska, New Mexico, Utah, Arizona, Texas. We got a little bit of everything. So I think that's the fun part about this event is that, and then we have an abundance of teams from this state. And now I think this is the strongest the boys state has been in a long time. We got a young man who just got a high major offer from Colorado. We got a couple others that have some mid-plus offers from schools like Colorado State that are now going to the Pac-12. So, you look at it, those kids, you got some high major kids. And then our individual showcase teams, that pool probably features about 10 Division I prospects, if not maybe even 12 or 15 of the 40 kids that have signed up. We have some heavy hitters. We did some recruiting there. We had some people connect some dots. We had some AAU programs reach out and say, hey, we want our players playing in this. We want them to have a chance to play in the live period. So it's gonna get spicy in the boys event in a different way. And we have some of the teams that, so many times these teams don't all play in the same event. And we have all of the high level boys teams minus maybe a couple that just happened to maybe shut it down for the rest of the summer, not knowing we were doing it. But it's going to definitely, as Terrell Owens said, get your popcorn ready. You're going to need your popcorn for this one.
4 gyms will be going with top-ranked teams, top-ranked players.
You got to asterisk, Now we expand. We go to 7. So we got 7 courts.
Oh, 7 my goodness. I can't wait. I can't wait. The 2 weeks can't pass by fast enough. I'm super excited about it. We're going to start doing all the marketing and start learning. Kevin, we got to learn the boys game. We got to learn the boys game pretty quickly here.
The good thing is, though, with Uprise Hoops and Inside Colorado Basketball, you did cover a lot of these young men on the show. So thank you for that.
And some of the coaches.
Yeah, and some of the coaches. So you got Sean Palmer and his squad. Rangeview, shout out Rangeview
will be in the, okay. Yep.
Sean Palmer, I gotta give special credit to him on this before we leave. Not only Chaska, all the people involved, but Sean Palmer was the Chaska president when we first met, and he is the pioneer to help this whole thing get spearheaded because he said we've tried for a long time in this state. I think we can pull it off. I just don't know who can do it, and I think you and your wife just may be the people to be able to pull it off. And to his credit, he was right. He was a visionary way before I even knew what was happening. He saw it. We did a small little showcase with 16 teams, and he said, I think you're on to something. Let's get you connected to the right people, and let's just sit down and have some conversations and see if it can happen. And so I'm always forever indebted and always grateful, just because his care was about the state. Let's do this for the state, and let's make this happen. So the good thing for the boys event too, it is Section 7 is this upcoming weekend. We are the weekend after. The girls doesn't have that luxury. They have one weekend. So the boys is after TABC and after Section 7. So we have 2 Texas teams coming because of that. We have all these Arizona and Utah teams coming. So that's also a good thing when it comes to the college coaches, because there's not a lot of competition in this part of the region. There's a Cali event and then ours. So not a lot going on in this part of the region. So it should be some good fireworks.
Well, I tell you what.
Before you go on, Coach Palmer, you remember we did your episode.
Yeah.
It's a green pullover that B. Jones and I, we both need. I didn't forget B. Jones, so we're trying to get that green pullover. Can't wait to meet Coach in person. Can't wait to meet some of the boys that we've had on, too. I'm looking forward to it, B.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to sound like a company man too much here, but speaking of popcorn, I had some popcorn at the concession stand this past weekend. Elite. Probably some of the best.
Hey, shout out to the concession crew.
They were killing it. Yes.
Jess, her daughters, Laura, and the whole crew. Yeah, I just got to give shout out to them. Megan, everybody. They've held it down in the concessions with the homemade brownies, the Rice Krispie treats. We had smoothies on deck. I mean, it was no games being played with that concession stand.
Wait a minute, Kevin, did you get a smoothie? I didn't see the smoothie game going on.
Hold up. That was in our contract to get a smoothie, but we didn't get one.
A smoothie and some yellow M&Ms.
Hey, B. Jones, heads will roll for this one, but no. We'll get some smoothie the next time, man. Got it.
All right, Brian, my last question. We're going to get everybody up out of here, man. This means a lot to the state of Colorado. This means a lot to the game of girls basketball, and we're going to find out how much it means to the game of boys basketball here pretty soon. But if this state, you mentioned, if this state gets behind itself, you guys can create something spectacular and Thanos-like level of basketball hoop. So my question to you is, if I give you a billboard outside of every high school in the state of Colorado, what is that billboard going to say?
I'm going to add a new line to it, but I'm going to start with our slogan. So it'll have Colorado Live on it. Rocky Mountain's big stage is right here at home. And then it would also say where future stars make their name, which is one of our slogans. But it would also just say, why leave when you can bring people here? You know what I mean? That I would add that last line. Why leave to go other places when you can stay here? And again, it's not about us. It's let's celebrate the state together. But if we always are going over there to get something that we can create right here, then we're never going to build this the way we can. So I think we get everybody to stay home and we add people to come to it. Yeah, we, as they say where I'm from, we cooking with hot grease. You know what I mean?
We're cooking with fish grease, baby. Let's go. Kevin, both of y'all notice we rocking the official kits, the apparel from the event. Kevin, which did you like, Natalie's shirt better? Or did you like Brian's shirt better? Which one of the swag?
Definitely Natalie. I'm gonna go ahead and help you out with that.
Yeah, I like Natalie too.
So why he's trying to put me in between both of y'all? That's kind of messed up, B. Jones.
I'm gonna help you out, KT. You got to come back next week. We're gonna go ahead and say Natalie because we know, bro.
Goodness.
Well, I'm getting. We got to come with some new hoodies because I like the other logos.
I gotta ask one question. What was your favorite? Either your favorite part of the event or the biggest surprise? KT, you go first.
My favorite part of the event was the fact that we had music there. That kind of set the tone. So we're on the other side with the coaches and everybody's like vibing and everything. So that was different. And I'll be honest with you, Brian, I just love the fact that we were able to see other talent besides Texas.
Yeah.
I know we mentioned Mackenzie Jones earlier, and you said she may have been the best player. I'm going to be real. She was the best player that weekend.
Yeah.
And I love the matchup between her and Kyla Hoyer.
Yep.
I thought that was dope.
That was day one.
They both checked each other.
Yep.
The twins. We've had coaches talk to us about the twins.
Yep.
So whatever we can do, Colorado, for the young ladies and the men, we're gonna do our best to make sure your names are getting out there.
Yep. Love it.
Well,
there's more twins because there's triplets on Valor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
you got the Moons.
The Moon twins.
Yeah.
For Highlands Ranch, who also went undefeated. So So I had to make sure I sprinkle that in. But what were you gonna say, B. Jones?
Yeah, you just stole my thunder. So my biggest moment, you talk about the scheduling, and I know people are like, why is he so fixated on the schedule? Because on Saturday, Brian had hyped this up. He's like, man, we got championship Saturday coming. I'm like, Kevin, we going, it's gonna be some more basketball. But the energy in the gym when it was announced that Highlands Ranch got to play against Northfield, the home team. We at Northfield Gym. Yeah. The elevation, we was already a mile high, but this thing had elevated to a whole nother proportion. You got these twins playing against each other. It was just a matchup that I was super excited about. I can never replace the feeling I had sitting on that sideline, anticipating watching those girls line up. It was this picture. I might share it, but it's a picture I took in because where we was at, it had the Northfield young ladies, and down on the other end of the court, you had the Highlands Ranch, and they got their balls in their hand. And they were just waiting for that clock to hit 00 on that previous game, and I'll never be able to forget that moment. I was kind of choked up and super excited, and it let me know that Colorado is the real deal. And we had it, and we can't tell y'all, I can't press upon you enough that this was an amazing event, an amazing facility, amazing fans, an amazing community, and of course the Burtons. You guys were some amazing directors. Thank you, Brian, for joining the show today, man. We wouldn't be here without you. So double gratitude for you all, man. And we're gonna see you in a couple of weeks, sir. We ready to do this.
Can't wait. Rocky Mountain's big stage, Colorado Live Showcase. College coaches, if you happen to catch this, if you're still listening, tune in. We would love to have you. We definitely have some talent. I think there was probably somewhere in that 30-40 range of Division I talent and beyond scholarship talent for the girls event. I think we're in the same range for the boys event with even more teams to be able to check out. So we appreciate you both. Love seeing the timeline with somebody was making comments earlier, like, man, those guys really brought it. And so many players and parents just said so many great things about having you guys there. So you guys were a big part of the vibe and can't wait to do it again.
Don't make me get emotional.
Yeah.
Colorado, we're going to see y'all later, man. Thank you, Brian.
The home away from home, baby.
The home away from home. Man, I cannot say enough about Brian Burton. I can't say enough about this team. We've had you guys long enough tonight, so we're going to get off of this joint. But I want to make sure that we stop down right now and we send each and every one of you our appreciation for having us in the building. You not only played basketball at a high level, but you embraced us. We were getting hugs. We were giving pound. We had people come and introduce themselves. We had parents come talk to us. And that is what took y'all and made this state one of the best events and one of the best states to play basketball. And while I'm proud to say I'm a part of Colorado through and through. Kevin, any last words? Any people you want to celebrate before we get out of here?
Shout out to the whole Colorado Live staff for showing us love and making sure that we were taken care of. I want to give a shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings because I went to the one here in Dallas yesterday, and the platter I got in Denver was nothing like the one I got here. The one in Denver was amazing. So shout out to Buffalo Wild Wings. If you don't know me, I'm always talking about food, but B. Jones, shout out to the state of Colorado. Y'all did y'all thing. Brian Burton, thank you, brother. Thank you for seeing the vision. Thank you for seeing something in us that we didn't really see in ourselves. So we really appreciate everything that you did for us. And like I said, shout out to Colorado Live and everybody.
Man, everybody that's participated, from the vendors to the people that are selling merch, to the sound guys, all of you did a phenomenal job. I do want to pay the bills one more time and shout out to our sponsors that made Inside Colorado basketball possible. And that is Uprise Hoops. Their mission is to give players and teams, helping them to rise to the highest level through showcase events, recruiting representation, player development, and of course, consulting services. Ask yourself right now if you are where you want to be. And if that answer is no, hit up Uprise Hoops because they specialize in helping you to go from good to great and helping you accomplish your dreams. Learn more about Uprise Hoops by visiting them on their website at uprisehoops.com. Oh, Colorado! Oh my goodness! We coming back. We're going to be at it again. We're going to be back in the gym. This time we're going to do it for the boys. But more importantly, I'm hearing some rumors, some speculation that there could be some events come fall, and Sports Life Talk will be on the docket. We coming, y'all. All right, like I said, our home away from home. Y'all know what time it is. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeet!
In due time, I knew you got next. Oh, you did it, huh? Crack the code. You got next, you smash and goes. You want next, you need